Welcome, everyone, to our weekly visit with head coach Doug Pederson, presented by Wawa. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. And Doug, for the first time since 2016, no playoffs for the Philadelphia Eagles. And for you, what goes through your mind as you put the Dallas loss behind you and look ahead to Sunday against Washington?
Yeah, I take the Dallas loss as sort of how our season's gone, and really, quite honestly, we did some really good things in the game, and we've done some really good things this season. But we have also had we had a lot of opportunity in that football game, just like we've had this season, and we failed to complete the task, and it's kind of been. It's been a frustrating and disappointing that way. And then I think about the amount of players that couldn't finish the season, and we got some good players that couldn't finish the season due to injury, and guys get nicked up every year, obviously, but we're getting some young guys in games that are going to give us some and provide us with some depth, I think, as we move forward into next season, the offseason in particular. And we have done some good things around here in the 5 years that I've been here, obviously, and we've brought some great wins here to this city and to this organization. So it's something we got to get back to.
Doug, let's talk about some of those injuries. The offensive line, we are reminded again and again that you can have all the skill position people you want, but if you don't have a great offensive line, it is very difficult to execute the offense. So in the big picture, do you expect Brandon Brooks and Andre Dillard and Lane Johnson and Drac Driscoll next year to be 100%? You feel like this offensive line has the pieces in place to be great again?
I do, and I expect those guys to be out there and playing and building that continuity again and having success there. And as long as that group stays healthy, I think you can do some really good things in your run game and in your passing game. And again, that's been kind of our season, right? There's been flashes and glimpses of that all year long. We just haven't been able to sustain that. But yeah, I'm very optimistic that those guys make a full recovery. They return to playing dominating football, and that's the encouraging part of moving forward.
Jalen Hurts made his third start of the season in Dallas. He'll finish up the regular season here on Sunday night against Washington. What did you see in start number 3? What did Dallas maybe show him and the offense that he hadn't seen before?
Well, I think you saw really the tale of two halves. You saw the first half being explosive offensively, with it mixing the run, some pass, Jalen using his legs a little bit, some design runs in there. Then you go to the second half, and Dallas made a couple of adjustments in the secondary and played a little more, cover 2, a little more shell, and really kind of shut the run game down a little bit. But at the same time, we also made a lot too many pre-snap penalties. It cost us field position, and it cost us yards. And Dave, we're just not at that point as a team offensively to really overcome a lot of those mistakes right now. And so that's hurt us, and it set us back, and that was kind of the difference in the second half. We had opportunities, we crossed the 50-yard line quite a bit, but just failed to execute and really finish the drive with points.
You've talked about Jalen and his cadence, and it's different than Carson's. Can you break that down for layman's terms? What people might not understand. What can Jalen do better to, if there's anything he can do, to reduce the pre-snap penalties that others are committing?
Well, I think the number one thing is just be louder. Obviously, we spend a lot of time in the shotgun, so you have to project your voice, and it's different than in college, where college you see the hand clap a little bit more in college, right? And they all go off of that sound. Where here we can't do that, and that simulates a cadence, or it could simulate getting the defense to jump off sides, and that's obviously a penalty, but. He can be louder, and then just the timing of the cadence with his voice inflections, different timing, and is he mixing up cadence enough, or is there a pause in there? It's all things that we just got to continue to work through and work with him on, and then just the guys just got to focus in on his voice and just listen to how he communicates and just lock in so that we can eliminate the pre-snap penalties.
Relatively speaking, is that an easy fix?
It is, and it just comes through the repetition in practice. The more he continues to get comfortable with the different cadences that we have, and then again, the offensive line and tight ends who are close to the ball, just listening and understanding the timing and rhythm of the cadence.
Doug, how has Jalen been in the pocket through 3 starts?
He's been good. There are some things that I think he can get better at. I think there's some anticipation things with guys coming open. This is, again, NFL where, lanes are going to be tighter, windows are going to be tighter, but you got to anticipate. And those are all things that he'll get better at the more, obviously, the opportunity that he gets to play. And then just being able to scramble, when things aren't there, being able to elude the pocket and extend plays with his legs, plays with his legs has been very beneficial. We've allowed us to stay on the field in some key third downs. But the pocket stuff, are things that I think he can improve. Obviously, it's something he didn't do a ton of in college, but he's very capable of doing it and completing more throws that way.
Sunday night, you are in the role of spoiler. What does that mean to you? And if that is on national TV, does it maybe say to the guys, hey, you better put your best out there because the whole country is going to be watching?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is we still have a lot of pride. The guys have a lot of pride, and they're going to play for that. And we got a great opportunity to go out and finish the season on a high note. And like you said, in front of a national audience. And that's what the guys are going to do. They're going to work hard this week. They're going to compete. They're going to understand the game plan and play on Sunday night. And you're just trying to win the game. And spoiler or whatever. I mean, yeah, you're still going to compete. And Washington's a good football team, and they've played really well here down the stretch, and rightfully so. Coach Rivera's got them playing really well, and we're going to get their best, and hopefully we can do the same.
Doug, I know your focus is on Washington, but what happens the day after? This game's going to end around midnight on Sunday, and then the day after is when players clean out their locker. Do you meet with every player that day?
I don't necessarily meet with everybody. I do want to meet with certain guys and leaders of the team and anybody that wants to come in and chat and do the final evaluations right there and obviously a team meeting and then exit physicals and all that kind of stuff. And it takes pretty much the whole day to kind of get through all of that, and then really once you're in after that, it's just you're into off-season mode, and you're really you're focused on diving into your roster again and evaluating the players and starting the process maybe even on potential free agents, and the cycle just starts over, and you gear up for another season.
Doug, you're used to being in the postseason. You've won a Super Bowl as a head coach. You won as a player. You know what it takes. So how far away do you think this football team is from being a legitimate Super Bowl team?
I do believe we're close. I do. And obviously, number one, we got to stay healthy. And we've got to eliminate the mistakes that we've made this season. We got to learn from this season. And we've got to take that and use that as fuel for motivation and as we go into the off season and not only step away from the game for several weeks or a couple of months, but once we get back together, we got to use that as that fuel to say, hey, enough's enough, and let's learn from it. Let's get better from it. We know we're going to add more talent and depth through the draft, through free agency, and even our own roster with the amount of young players here at the end of the season that have played, and it's just going to give us the much needed, I think, boost going into 2021, and that's what I'm encouraged about. That's what I'm looking forward to, and you want to be competitive, and you want to give yourself a chance. I even look at this season, Dave, and say we've had many opportunities this season to finish games and win games. We've been very competitive in games, and games have been close and come down to the fourth quarter. That's what we have to learn to overcome. That's what we have to learn to do better, and that's finish these games. And I think once we do that again, the results will be better.
Doug Pederson, our weekly one-on-one presented by Wawa. Thanks so much for joining us, Doug. Good luck on Sunday night against Washington. Finish it up strong.
Thank you, Dave.